Okay, welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Should be live, everything good to go. Let us know if you have any sound issues if you're viewing. I'm Captain Gyro, I'm hosting today, and today I have with me Snuffleupagus, current tournament competitor, and we're going to watch a New Blood tournament game of Fury of Dracula.
Hello,
And
YouTube.
yeah, take it away, Snuffleupagus. Who's competing today?
So in this game we have Strider656. I believe he's the Hunters today, and Altaris is Dracula. The current top seed in the tournament versus the current, I want to say, is the 2 seed. If not, is maybe very close.
Yeah, if he's not number two, he's got to be
Maybe three.
tied for it, or have three. Yeah, he's doing very well. Altaris.
Oh, Fang says no game audio yet.
Oh, okay, that's right. Let me turn up the music for you. There we are. Lovely. I really enjoy the music in this game, but when I play, I turn it off because when Dracula starts to get a lot of influence, it makes me really nervous. The music's so intense, it's effective.
Yeah, no Galway, no Valona. Interesting.
Yeah, no Ireland start.
Um, But no, I caught the very beginning of Wormtalon's stream. He is playing now.
Oh, excellent.
Um, a lot of battles between him as Drac, and Burke Mali in Central Europe and Northern Italy.
Okay.
Another hired scouts. Huh.
Granadites. I like that first hired scouts because he eliminated Ireland and Athens with one go. At,
Yeah.
at least for that first encounter. Now, yeah, sure, Dracula could still be lurking near Athens or something like that, but at least you know that first one's not those two places.
Yeah, I'm not. It's interesting.
So that leaves, like, as far as extremities, that leaves, Amsterdam, Hamburg, 17 and 56 by the
Galats.
Black Sea, yeah, that
Yep.
area. Bari.
My favorites. Fang says Alessa's first move was to hide in Ireland, which I don't know if I buy because you'd be losing the misdirect, but possible. Technically possible. Oh, maybe more likely now. No misdirect. Maybe Fangs is onto something.
What do you think? He hid in Ireland?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that.
What?
But Fangs was saying that when you were saying he was ruling out Ireland, technically it's not ruled out because he could have just started in Dublin and hid. Although I think that is probably not what's going on here.
Rufus.
Early Rufus. All right. What do you do with it?
I I don't know. What do you do with it? You search the rest of Spain. Okay. Didn't he?
Yes,
Yeah, he searched 26, 12, and 31 now.
yep. Um, Decreasing odds that Drac is in Spain. Yeah, if I get Rufus or Agatha or or even Harker on like the first one or two um turns, I usually keep him as an ally because like what are the odds that you get it exactly? Once you get to 3, 4, I start feeling more tempted to use him for the extra search.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's always tricky because it's nice to have an ally to fall back on. If it's Sister Agatha, you probably ally her, though. I think she's. The more I play this, the more I think she's a little better than Rufus Smith. And Rufus Smith is still good. but I think Sister Agatha is a little better.
Yeah.
If you get into a fight with Dracula and Sister Agatha actually goes off and does 2 damage, that's as much damage as Rufus Smith is probably like ever gonna do in a game, unless you're like Dracula just has to go to sea or something like that. Like late game Rufus Smith can be nice, you know, when Dracula is hurt and he's gonna go to sea. But other than that, I think Aggie's a little bit better.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But it's really hard to say because there are times where Aggie or Rufus can be really useful to you, and then other times not so much. It's one of those. They're both somewhat situational. But yeah, I think that Aggie's probably a little less so because at some point you gotta fight Drac. Usually.
Yeah. Oh, behind the veil.
Okay.
Oh, big vampire hand.
Yeah. 3 vamps. Bye bye Reckless.
Taking the reckless. That's 1 down.
Hmm.
I mean, that's not a bad way to kill a vampire, to be honest.
Nope, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all situational, but it's like, how are you going to defeat Dracula? Like, 50% of the time, it's a big pile up combat. And the other 50% of the time, it's like consecrated ground or some kind of Hail Mary play, like sense of emergency into heroic leap kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, at least half the time he's killed in a big pile up combat. So if you can just make sure he can't suck blood, he's just kind of cooked already.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's not a ton of ways for Drac to heal, and that takes out one of them.
Got the rumor token, typical quick as you can rumor token with the
Yep.
misdirect of the starting location. I mean, this is all pretty standard stuff. We got our pizza wizard set up here from the Hunters,
Yeah,
aka the Mr. Green start.
thanks to a recent Scott Sword primer video on this stuff, I know what that is.
I need to make some kind of silly start that people can call the gyro start. Yeah, I need to get on that.
Yeah, at the end of that video, he said he saw someone doing like 200s in Vienna and 200s in Paris. I played that in a non-tournament game, and I tried the same with doing the same with 200s in Bordeaux. Kind of liked it, but probably not.
When I
Uh,
was, sorry, go on.
no,
Yeah,
you're good. I
it's a
just
possibility. 200s in
it's
Bordeaux. I
intriguing
could
to be
see
able to like
that.
trade stuff more easily.
200s in Bordeaux really isn't a terrible idea, because you could just destroy Spain. Like if he's in Spain, you can send 2 people into Spain on the rails. If he's in Germany, you're not far from Germany. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. It's just the East is big and wide open.
Yeah, and it takes you a while to go get to
Right.
Britain to clear the trail.
When I was first getting started at this game on the tabletop,
More scouts.
I used to put Van Helsing and Mina together so that they could move from region to region and scan.
Huh.
Because I didn't have anything else to go on. I didn't know you're supposed to just stand still and supply for as long as possible. So I'd be like, all right, well, we'll start in 36 and we'll scan 36, and then we'll move to 37 and we'll scan 37. And you can still see like little traces of that in my gameplay. I'll have things like, you know, Mina and Godalming in 58 I really like because you can move them by rail to 25 and scan Italy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely like having someone to take Konami's extra items, and Mina I think is probably the best one. But I get the superhero start arguments, but I think at this point I'd probably lean keeping Godalming and Mina together.
Yeah, yeah, because he needs someone to give items to, and who better than Godalming? Well, I mean, who better than Mina? Some people would say Seward.
So at this
And
point,
that's
I
fine
think
too.
that Drac can be in the far east Black Sea coast, Galatz, Bucharest region. He could have started and be in like Central Europe, like Alps, Strasbourg, middle of the map. Or I guess he could have been in like northern Germany, but like avoiding Cologne, since we had a scout there. It's going to be interesting. I think the least juicy answer would be
Oh my goodness, man! The old psychic bond calls him out. Oh my goodness.
boom.
That is great. He just sent out the old submarine sonar ping.
And
Yeah,
sometimes it
I love
hits.
it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So now the question is, how prepared are Godalming and Mina to deal with it? Mina's got a horse. Um, and if we can have a newspaper reports next turn to see exactly where he started.
That would be interesting. Oh, was that the first psychic bond that he did?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember him doing one earlier that came up negative. So, I mean, he could have started anywhere over there. Could have even started in Austria-Hungary, but I feel like he probably was started in Baltica somewhere and maybe moved to 49. Like he's trying to get out now through Munich and all that.
I think that's probably right, because if you want to stay in the Balkans area for a while, you can do Galatz, Bucharest. There's enough spaces there that you don't need to leave if
Yeah.
you're not trying to leave.
This part's
If you
tricky
don't
though.
leave,
If he
you can
gets
avoid
out
the scan.
if he gets out through Munich, it's a problem.
Most definitely. Because then you're going to put the hunters in dilemma. You're going to need to split their attention between clearing the trail and
Oh, there's good old
hiding
Galatz.
Galatz. So I like this. You could maybe here have like an aristocratic with a bats on top of it or something like that to make it take just a little longer for the hunters to uh, be able to uh, clear the aristocratic or whatever other vamp is under there.
Dracula started in his own backyard.
Yeah, I mean Ash started in Pallet Town. Seems appropriate for
not
Vlad
a
to
bad
start next to Castle Drac.
not a bad little move at all. No.
All right.
One on the horses, showing a chink in the armor a little bit.
So now it's gonna be interesting to see if Mina also goes that way. Chartered carriage, okay.
Interesting.
That makes sense. Gonna put Seward closer to the action.
But does that mean he doesn't have the tickets to move on his own, or the horses to move on his own?
Good question.
I mean, this is an okay move, but he can only... Where's he going to go? Let's see. Yeah, he's going to go to 25. Or no,
Yeah, maybe that's a sign Seward doesn't have a horse.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad move, but if he could have moved from 8 to 36...
Or it could be a sign that there are still white ones in there that he's afraid of tripping.
It's true. I mean, he's at least in a more relevant position.
Although using the horse here probably throws some cold water on my white one theory. So, where's Mina gonna go?
He did not go there. That's actually kind of somewhat telling.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he could have even been there right now. Right? He could have gone from Galatz to Bucharest to 6 and then to 28.
Yeah, my hunch is he's going west from here. Because if he wanted to stay east, he could have done that otherwise without going to Austro-Hungary. But we'll see. We'll see. He could also just be going on to Athens.
No, I tend to agree. I think he went 6, 49, and that's where they caught him with the psychic bond. Either that or in 59. I forget exactly how it played out. But yeah,
Well,
I think they caught him in one of those cities with the psychic bond, and then he went on to Munich.
Well, that'll make for an interesting choice here, because what I would do is throw a bats on top of the vampire in Galatz. If you did that, Mina going there by herself is not going to be enough to clear the vamp, even if she has a stake. So you might want to put Godalming on it, but if you go to Zagreb now, you might be able to get an early 2-on-1 against Drac right here. Although that requires Asu to have a horse that we think he doesn't have. So that might not be a possibility either.
10, 6. You're right. Yeah, he couldn't have been in Zagreb last night. It would have been 49. So yeah, I mean, he could be there right now. But yeah, this is probably the safer bet to just deal with this thing. It's a Saboteur. Oh, does he have the gun though? Reveal the gun. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay. So that vamp's gonna mature.
Saboteur of the
You're gonna
year, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, he wasn't packing any heat. And Dracula's not where we thought he was either. Okay, so maybe we should have known better. He went to Athens, of course.
Yeah.
Here we are with all our crazy ideas.
Maybe he went.
Goes to good old Athens.
So where does Mina go here? 53? Oh, Fangs is asking what's in the discard. We should do a discard check in a sec. Ooh, Sophia.
Yeah.
Spy.
The
Mess
spy.
up that ticket economy early.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that reveals a lot of information. Heroic leap.
Goodness. Heroic leap,
Got a
hypnosis,
fang.
newspaper reports, a horse, a knife, and I missed the last one. Besides the horse and the knife.
Might have been a horse knife. Crucifix, maybe?
Yeah, it was a crucifix, you're right.
And,
It tells Dracula quite a bit. Hypnosis will be coming. That spy, he was like James Bond.
Altaris is saying knife, garlic fast, horses, heroic leap, news and hypnosis, question mark? Get Strider to confirm. You wanted to take a quick skim of the discard real quick?
Yeah.
I'm looking at not seeing anything too juicy. A stake, a rifle. If Godalming threw away that rifle, that's going to be pretty
be kicking
pretty
himself for that one. Also, these dogs, man. If you'd have just had the dogs, you'd have been fine. If you're ambushed by a Saboteur, it goes bye-bye.
Oh, nope, I was right. Strider confirms the last item was crucifix, not garlic.
Yeah, it was crucifix.
Good stuff. So Drac, I guess, Galatz Hyde, Bucharest, um, Szeged, Belgrade, Sofia, or I guess, or Belgrade, Sarajevo, Sofia.
I think Belgrade.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm misreading.
Yeah, it's already a
It had
Hyde
to
on
be
draft.
Belgrade, Sarajevo, Sofia. I'm
Yeah,
misreading
I
rail line as a road.
I think he went 649 Sophia. Yeah,
Aristocratic matures.
there you go.
Quick, 7 points for Altaris.
Touchdown, Dracula. Unfortunate for Strider here, but plenty of time to pull it together. The good news is there's only one card on the trail, and then there's C trail, so that's not a problem. And plus, where's Dracula gonna go? Like, it, is he really gonna go to the Black Sea and land?
In this situation, probably not.
That's why. All right, here's a pro tip for you. Whenever Dracula does this move, he goes to the Ionian, right? And then he plays one more C card, right? And then he lands. Because if he plays a third C card, you know he's in the Mediterranean, right?
For sure.
So what you do is you just keep Mina and another hunter in 10 so that you can use scan when he lands, right? Because if he does go to the Black Sea and he plays wolf form, he still has to be in Baltica, right?
Yeah.
So then all you have to do is eliminate Italy and 49 at that point.
Right. Hmm.
Anyway, my point is like his obfuscation comes from, oh, did I go to the Black Sea and land in Baltica? And you can just eliminate that with a psychic bond.
I almost be tempted here, since I mean, hunters are gonna assume Drac's not gonna go to black. I might almost be tempted to go to Mad, and then make Mina burn her hypnosis to figure out if it's Italy, France, or Spain. Like she's gonna be able to find you out, but she's gonna need to
Possibly.
use the hypnosis. And if you go to C again later, now she doesn't have her hypnosis. It's not like a huge game changer thing, but that might be what I'd be tempted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah.
suppose that's one fewer turn clearing or creating trails, so maybe you'd rather just go
Oh, there's
terrainy.
Vampire Lair. Okay. 5 is more reasonable than 7, and now the music chilled out. So that'll help Strider.
Okay, getting ready to hypnosis or scan.
Yeah.
That's the place you'd want to do it. Sailing right after, or horsing.
No layers either.
Nope.
Because of the mature. Having an early mature like that will set you back on layers.
That is a silver lining for the hunters when you get early vamp like that going off. Okay. Let's see. Actually, this is probably better than my hypnosis where she was theory. Ooh,
Nighttime search. Good thing it's just
Munich.
aristocratic.
Yep, I like it.
Okay. Now it's time to get your hunters straightened out. Get them in order. Get them resupplied. Get them in relevant positions. it's so early too. Dracula can't really run that far, right? So here's a thing about chartered carriage too, is you can use it like to get out of the East, right?
True.
So if let's say you had Dr. Seward and Mina in 10 and Dracula lands and you do your psychic bond and he's not in the East. Well, all you have to do is check 49 at that. Well, assuming he wolf forms, right? And it could have been from the Adriatic. You check 49 and then you can get them out of the East, potentially with
So this is
chartered carriage.
interesting.
Yeah, he's landed without the wolf form. So we've got 17, 56, 55, 5, 57, and 40,
And
45, 25, 13.
thanks as he would have wolf formed from Turanian. That I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see Altaris go that route.
Well, yeah, he's hoping they don't CG him, honestly. It's not, I mean, there's no... Rufus Smith is in discard, so they could have surprising return. But even so, there's quite a few places to pick from. See, now he's gonna have to check 56 and 17 the old-fashioned way. Unless he wants to meet them up.
Okay. Yeah, I would meet
Hey,
them up. Meet them up and burn the hypnosis.
we got Scott Sword in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard.
Hello, Scott Sword. I was hyping your guide to Hunter Starts earlier. Thanks again for making that one.
Yeah, well, if it's as good as the one on Horse Economy, I'm sure it's great.
Horse Economy is a classic.
Where's Dracula, gang? How's it been so far? Dracula got an early mature in Galatz for 7 points. He put a Saboteur on it, and Godalming moved on to it and didn't have a gun. So there's nothing they could do about it.
We think it's possible that Konami might have dropped the gun. Can't confirm that, but there was a gun in the discard. Very effective Saboteur play to start the game.
Yeah, it was a fantastic Saboteur, actually. Really punching above his weight, to be honest.
Yeah, and here I was talking about bats. Bats would not have gotten the same result.
Right, bats.
You needed that. We needed that Saboteur. That was the MVP Saboteur right there.
You're absolutely right. If it was bats, the vampire would not have matured. It was because it was a Saboteur that was able to foil 2 hunters for the price of 1. No superhero start. Dr. Seward started in Bordeaux. Okay, horsing around with confidence. That's good. And I bet we got the hypnosis coming now. Imagine if he did land at 17 and he put a vampire down and now he's hiding on fog and he's gonna play feed.
To be honest, I kind of hope he did, because for Strider's sake, I would feel awful like moving Seward back that way only to find, oh no, he's in Italy.
You could have used Psychic Bond and figured that out. But turns out he's in Italy. Okay. No more conspiracy theories about going back.
Fangs suggested that he was in CAG earlier, which is possible. Inconvenient to get to. You could have a hide card over that rumor.
Possibly. It's not in season though, Caglia. It's not the style of the times right now. It's out of fashion to go to 13.
Yeah, yeah.
People are finally starting to wise up, but it's not fun to take extra damage to go to the sea zone that you're gonna go to anyway.
Right. I mean, landing in southern Italy is kind of getting the same effect, although you can stay there a little bit longer if you like.
But of course, I mean, 13 still has its utility. It's isolated. It's out of the way. It's you can feed there if you have to. I mean, it still has its use.
Yep, I agree, especially in the late game. Might be a good time for a feed, since whether he's in southern Italy or in CAG,
Yeah, I would absolutely feed.
there you go.
Yeah.
You're gonna be going to sea again anyway, so I
Yeah.
think that was probably the play. Got our first lair in Sofia.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty useful spot for a lair if the game heads back that way at some point.
Yeah. You know what? I'm feeling things out a little bit. I think he is in 13 because it makes sense with the rumor, probably a hide right behind it, and a feed. It actually really makes sense when you think about that compared to the hide trick he did before in 22. It was a hide trick with a vampire and saboteur. I bet this is the same thing going on in 13 right now.
Yeah,
It's
I mean that
hide
would make a
trick
lot of
with
sense.
fog or the like, or maybe just double vamp.
Ian in the chat says his bet would be Bari, also a possibility, or Naples, Rome to go back east. Although you would need to spend a bit more time down there. Wait for Adriatic to go off the board.
Yeah, could be Bari, hide, and then move to 40 after the feed or something like that. Get ready to fog them in Rome or Naples, and then just go to the Turanian.
Yep, I would say that or CAG are probably the most likely options here.
Yeah, I think CAG. But yeah, the Italian coast possible. It just stinks for Dracula because you don't want to go to the Turanian Sea and not threaten to go to the Ionian, right? Because Ionian's still on the trail.
Right.
So if you went to Turanian Sea like tomorrow, there'd be no possibility that you're going anywhere except the Mediterranean next. I actually
We
really
should
like
know a lot here.
I actually really like as Dracula leaving from say 25 or 45, something like that, and going to the Turanian, and then you move one more sea space and wolf form. I think that's a pretty good move from Dracula.
It probably wouldn't be all that helpful in this situation where based on where the hunters are. But before that, like in theory, that could make a lot of sense. Like before you had someone in Marseille.
Newspaper reports. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I get
That
that.
yeah, that kind of makes sense.
You still haven't fully ruled out Southern Italy, but you have to be feeling a lot
I,
more.
I might have waited to do that tomorrow because then you'd reveal the rumor token.
Yeah, because you still need to get your hunters in place to go to CAG anyway.
Right. You don't.
Like you could send Godalming to Marseille, and that's on the way to wherever Drac lands, and it's also on the way to CAG.
Yeah, now you know he didn't land in 45, but yeah, it has to be CAG. Because if he went to the Adriatic, I mean, he couldn't have gone to Venice. Or no, I'm sorry,
Oh,
it's the Tyrrhenian confirmed because the newspaper reports. So I mean, even if he landed in 25, let's say, he would have had to gone to 57 and fed in Venice, and now he's in the Adriatic. That's the only other thing he could have done.
although I guess in his credit, if there is another delaying tool on top of the vamp in CAG,
Then you're
you'd be
right.
too slow if you use my approach of going to
If
of,
you,
of using it
yeah,
later.
yeah, agreed. It could be that would
Although,
be too little, too late.
yeah, nah, I still think my approach is probably the best way to go about it because you're still getting there at the same time. Interesting. Huh. Is he trying to send multiple hunters there? Assuming there's another Saboteur-esque play?
Hmm.
Thanks to just maybe one of them has excellent weather. Also possible. This would be a great time to use excellent weather. Um, because of that possibility
Yeah.
of a delaying height event. Also, a great time for dogs, if you had any. I don't look on the discard. I think, yep, all dogs on the discard.
All dogs go to heaven. I mean, yeah, who keeps dogs around, right? What good are they?
Huh.
Except for saving you 7 points at the beginning of the game. Okay, this screams wolf form from Mediterranean. Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah. No, Mina just checked 25. So that rules out the conspiracy theory of 25 to 57 to Adriatic. Okay. So yeah, confirmed. He's in the Mediterranean and he's just wolf formed to like Madrid, maybe.
That would be my guess. Not in
Yeah,
Bari, so now it's
Dra-
you know it's Cagliari.
Dracula is slipping away. This is true, but it's still pretty early. I mean, tomorrow they're gonna add the second despair token to the board. And that's just 2 despair tokens. I mean, that still gives you a whole week to get to him.
True. Um,
And he's
the
damaged himself.
big advantage for Drac, is if that vamp, presumed vamp on CAG matures, then you're going to be at 12, and then one daytime ambush fangs is going to kill you. That's
Yeah.
the real advantage Drac is going to have after this. Um, if the hunters can't knock out whatever's in CAG tomorrow.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take out what's in Cagliari.
If they do take out whatever's in Cagliari, I wouldn't feel too pressed as hunters. Like you were saying, there's plenty of game left to play. They have a pretty good idea of where Dracula is.
It
Um,
looks like Van Helsing's gonna deal with it.
yeah, I mean, Van Helsing has to deal with it. Unless there's someone with excellent weather that's going to pull it off now.
Yeah.
If you had excellent
It's
weather, you'd
unfortunate
be doing
because
it yesterday.
it's a great example of it's not efficient, right? What you want is a situation where Godalming, the guy in the rear, he can come up behind and deal with it, right? Godalming was in Rome. He could have gone to 13 and dealt with it. Meanwhile, you've got your hunters who are closest to Dracula. They can then go and burn him out, right?
Yeah,
Instead, you've got your lead hunter having to sort of turn around and back off of the chase. And now he and Godalming are both going to be out of position. What you want right now is a situation where, okay, he's wolf formed, he's landed, right? But you can pressure him into going to sea again, even if you don't like necessarily kill him. If you just put hunters close to him, instead of traipsing around Spain for a week and a half, he has to go back to sea. He has to flee. He has to use his best cards, right? And then he goes to sea, and you can catch him at the end of week 3, right? When he has 10 influence. That's how I usually win my games
Yeah.
if I win. But yeah, the point is you gotta apply pressure. You gotta get him to leave. You
Yeah, I
gotta make
certainly
him
agree
feel
with
like his
that.
only option is the sea. Yeah, let's see what the old man is packing on him now. I bet he's got a holy bullets.
Wolves,
Ooh,
okay.
Smithers released the hounds. We got an intruder.
All right, well that makes Van Helsing odds of knocking out the presumed vamp
Oh,
a
you
lot
know,
higher.
did he ever trade with Mina? I bet he's gonna heroic leap it if it's a reckless.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I bet
That would
that.
make a lot of
I bet that
sense.
was the plan the whole time. Yeah, I knew it.
Perfect.
I knew it. I remember we
Good call. I
because the
like that. I like that.
spy revealed that on Mina. So
Yep.
Dracula, if his hand allowed it. Now, granted, his hand might not have allowed it, especially since he had a mature, and a mature actually really hurts your encounter economy. Um, but if his hand had a new vampire, he might have factored that in. He might have said to himself, well, I saw a heroic leap kicking around because of my spy. Maybe I should put a new vampire down because it's beefier. Maybe he didn't have it. Maybe he didn't
Yeah.
think of it. But yeah, that's some good interaction. That's a good play there. But it doesn't hurt Dracula entirely. Yeah, that vampire's dead, which is pretty huge, but I mean, it's kind of inevitable that Strider was going to deal with that, because otherwise he kind of is like throwing the game if he doesn't. So
No.
at least Van Helsing is really beat up, and that's a heroic leap that can't be used to finish Dracula off.
Yeah.
And Van
It's
Helsing went the wrong direction.
it's but it's taking Drac like a few yards towards victory rather than running the ball across the entire football field.
Well put. Well put. Yeah.
Like it's
Good play from the defense there. Yeah. Well planned by Strider. Exactly.
yeah. Much better to keep him to a first down than a touchdown.
Yeah. I, I've said before, your plan doesn't have to be a perfect plan. As long as you have a plan, I can get behind it. We got a plan to defeat Dracula, and we're gonna execute it using these steps.
So now we have some hunters looking at Spain and salivating over the prospects of getting into a little tussle with Drac here.
Eight is a good move, I think, because you want to block Dracula from simply moving to 8 and going to the North Atlantic next.
Yep, I agree, and it's on a rail line, so I don't know if he has a renewed vigor. I haven't been checking for prompts.
But yeah, they ought to be able to check out Madrid, which is a pretty suspect location right now. Why would Dracula wolf form to Madrid instead of wolf forming to, say, 26, which is seemingly safer? Well, it's because of consecrated ground things.
Yep,
Yeah,
and
that's one thing you learn when you're new.
I don't know if Altaris watched Strider's first defeat in this tournament, but that came from Strider
Yeah,
going to Grenada instead of Madrid.
absolutely, absolutely. But Strider, of course, is not new in that regard. He knew the risks that he was incurring when he did that.
He
But
did it. He was talking
yeah,
about it.
For a new player
I
who's
think
never
he.
been hit by consecrated ground, seemingly 26 just looks a lot better, right? Like, why wouldn't I wolf there? It's off the train track and further away than Madrid.
Oh
But
yeah.
number of connections is hugely important if you think CG's kicking around.
Yep. No, Strider in that game was weighing the prospects of getting into a fight with Godalming versus the prospects of a CG nuke, and he ended up choosing wrong. But that was, I get the thinking.
Good call
Okay,
for
so
good.
Dracula's in Spain.
Yeah, good call from Pizza Wizard who predicted that. Yeah, that's a very good psychic bond. Confirm your suspicions. Um, Unfortunately, I mean, it really only eliminated 54 and 15, right? But still, some information's better than no information.
No, it really only removes like 24, 56, 37 because he scanned in France
Oh,
earlier,
yeah,
and
you're right.
Drac,
I
like when
forgot
he
about
landed,
this.
and Drac wasn't in France. So the only new information that gets us is that he's definitely in Spain and not in those
Okay.
northern Italy.
Okay,
Once he
you're
was,
right. I always
he wasn't likely to go to them either anyway, because they're all the hunters around there. But now we know for sure.
Yeah, I underestimated the wolf form from Mediterranean. Yeah, I forgot about those spaces. In Italy.
So did you
Yeah,
say? So is, from my own knowledge, is Ian in the chat Pizza Wizard?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So from 34,
All right.
he went to 26 after all, it seems.
That is what that means. Yep.
Bold.
Yep. Indeed.
Bold strategy I mean, it's not too bad. If the wolf form had been revealed, they would have seen 34 and they would have assumed that he didn't go to 26, but like hired scouts could have killed you there.
Now, where are those bats gonna take Seward? Presumably 26. Oh, forewarned, they're
Oh,
not
they're
taking
not
him
taking him
anywhere.
anywhere after all. No bats, Drag. Now Van Helsing's stuck on this little island, and you gotta go. What do I do with him? I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I might as well supply. It's not useful at all, unfortunately. Game having a little laugh at Strider's expense.
I suppose 48.
Well, this isn't that bad. You know where Dracula is. You know where he's going to
Ooh,
be.
more bats.
More bats. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Dracula's not gonna go to the Mediterranean. He can't. I mean, he did
Hmm.
apply pressure. I agree that was a good move to move in, scan, start moving hunters to Dracula, and Dracula felt the heat and he got out of the kitchen.
I don't love the use of bats here. I really like playing with bats, but I usually like to try to like set it up so that if you land on them, I can move you, to something. I like to have something with like a hide next to it,
Hmm.
if I can. I mean, there could very easily be something bad under 26, but it can't be that bad under the circumstances. It'll either be, a single event, or even if it's a vamp, there's lots of hunters around to deal with it who are going to have a little bit of time to kill.
Hmm. It's inherently a very powerful card, but I also find it takes a lot to use it effectively. I have trouble making bats count for everything sometimes. I mean, this is clearly calculated by him. Put bats near the vampire to force a night fight. That's not a bad idea. But
So
like you
if he
said,
had,
yeah, they can deal with it.
all right, now I kind of see it. I see what he's thinking now, because if the aristocratic, or whatever vamp was in CAG did mature, he'd be at 12 influence, and having two bats leading people to a reckless makes perfect sense because all you would need is one Fangs to win at that point. So now that I look at it more closely, I see what he was trying to do with that. He was trying to get that single influence point he was hoping he needed to seal the win.
Oh, yeah, I see. If that mature had gone off, it would not have cleared the bats in 12 and would not have cleared the reckless here in 26. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
So force a night fight, maybe get a fang, seal the game. Yeah,
Yep.
that's actually a decent plan.
Yep. I like it. But
You
it's
gotta count on them dealing
much
with
lower
Day.
stakes now.
Yeah, wonder if she has a stake.
Ah. Double meaning.
No, she has horses.
Ooh.
Okay.
Interesting to use a heavenly host here. I think that
Maybe not a bad call at all, actually, because it's not an ambush. Or, oh no, wait, it is an ambush. Yeah, it is an ambush, so he might have fanged.
a night ambush.
Yeah, he might have
Nice.
actually fanged just for that one influence point and then gotten more than he'd counted for. But yeah, throwing Heavenly Host as Mina, we've all like talked about how risky it is, but it works. It just works.
Yeah. Altaris says should have fanged. Interesting.
Yeah,
Do you
should have.
do you get a second? But she wouldn't get another bite though, would she? You need to be mesmerized for that.
No, because it was at night. Well, no. If you throw Heavenly Host and they throw fangs, you get a bite
I'm
token.
sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
So day, night, mesmerize wouldn't be relevant.
Nope,
She would just
that's
straight
right,
up die.
But in fairness to Altaris, I would not have expected the Heavenly Host to come out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would have done the same thing, to be honest. Because you don't want to lose your knife. Then again, if she dies, that's 4 influence for Dracula, and that puts him at 9, which is also pretty serious. But you gotta be willing to die if you're gonna be willing to kill a vampire.
It's true.
Now Dracula's
Check the discard. How many stakes on the discard? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's all stakes, right? 4 stakes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've only stakes, you're going to have to fight the vamp regardless.
Yeah.
I guess you may as well
just go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So there will be no...
It honestly makes a lot of sense, actually, because if you're in the vampire's head, right, like, it wants to prolong the night fight. It would probably expect you to escape and play Mesmerize, or claw you and get that bonus damage, which it did, right? Like, it would probably do a whole lot of things before it would fang while at full HP. Oh yeah, he would get 1 influence point, but if you escape, that's it, right? Whereas he doesn't want that. He wants to draw out the fight with Mina. He wants to damage her, maybe mesmerize her and threaten to fang. It actually is a pretty good play.
Yeah, and if there's a Strider, you know, a lot of the uses that we could see for consecrated grants, if it was even something Strider had, like, would not require the full set. Like, if you go to Britain, there's a lot of damage you can do with Consecrated Ground without all 3 Heavenly Hosts.
That's a good point. And
Drac is getting weakened a good amount by the C movement, so you might actually need all the Heavenly Hosts to kill him, you know, in combat. But so I can see the value of that approach to killing the Reckless.
The only other side of the coin is if your opponent, because you got to really read your opponent in this game. What if your opponent has a different mindset and instead he's thinking, I want to protect this vampire at all costs and keep it alive at all costs. If that's what you're thinking, then you would probably want to fang, because there's only 1 card that can kill you in 1 hit, and you can stop it with fangs.
True.
So yeah, you gotta really get the read on your opponent, but it makes sense because 4 influence isn't really that big a deal for like, why would he play that way? That vampire is gonna die. Why would he play that way?
Yeah,
the whole bats thing. Yeah,
I think that's probably right.
Intentions for the fight.
And there were a lot of other hunters around that could, you know, theoretically get there in time if one of them I know none of them have stakes. Maybe if it's something else, like the other heroic leap. There's two heroic leaps, right?
No, one heroic leap.
Oh, just one. I
Yeah.
forget I said that.
So maybe he's in Irish Sea, maybe he's in English Channel, maybe he's in the North Sea. But now
Yeah.
he has no wolf form, and he's surely gonna land. So he really has to think about this. Okay, where is it?
I.
Tell me,
Huh.
tell me, Snuff. Where is it? Where's
So
Dracula?
at this point, there's not that much time to kill. Interesting. So we're on Friday of week 3. Um, it's not the worst time to go to Irish, hang out in the UK for a little bit. Um, and then sail again. Wolf form out of the Channel, out of the North Sea. Once once you're in Fury mode.
Renewed vigor.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting.
That's
Everybody is wildly out of position. I mean, if I'm Dracula, I'd probably want to be in 19. Because you can just, I don't know, you can go to 35 and feed and then start moving around.
so. I think
Or
that
32 and feed in 32 or something like that.
ooh, that's a tough draw. Oh no, it's a lair. Oh no.
She's got a weapon, though.
Yeah, but it kind of hurts because you were hoping you draw the yellow too, so you wouldn't have to deal with that.
True.
But so obviously, if you're a Strider, going to Germany is safer from a CG standpoint. But I mean, Britain, like you can just kind of stay on the island, see how long it takes them to get to your island, and then immediately go back to sea after that.
Yeah, it's sort of a 50-50 between did he want to risk the CG or did he want to risk them catching up to him in Germany?
Like Drac can control the tempo better if he hangs out in the UK for a bit, make the hunters decide
Oh, this
whether
is
to
big.
go.
The channel. Okay, so he's in 43 or
Interesting.
33. Almost for sure. Now you can have Godalming go to 29. If I were Dracula, I'd have gone to 33. So you can go to 52.
Yep. Go to 52. Go to 32.
Mm-hmm. And then you can throw a feed in there hopefully before Fury of Dracula kicks in.
Yeah.
You've seen Vampire Lair already, so you don't have to factor that in.
I might even do the feed now in London. That way, if you do get hit with a CG, you're not gonna take any damage.
Horses. Okay. It's confirmed he's in jolly old England.
Yeah, no kidding. For all the people who were having conspiracy theories about a Le Havre landing,
Now
sorry to
you're
disappoint
getting
you.
it.
Sorry to disappoint you.
You're fitting right in on the channel.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's not storming the beaches of Normandy. Be madness. He's fleeing to the island. Safety. Perceived
It
safety.
is. We have the Battle of Britain, not a D-Day tonight.
But are we going to see the CG tonight?
That would be
we have one host in the discard. Is that what we calculated? Oh, this pile's been reshuffled. But
I
there
looked
there
pretty
was
soon
one.
before the reshuffle, and I don't think any were discarded other than, the one we saw used in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh,
Oh! Oh
but
snap!
here's the thing though. If he's in London, he can just feed.
It's
He
in
can.
London.
Okay, so he's gonna have a place to move. Oh, but he's not gonna have a place to move tomorrow. Interesting. You can make him go to Plymouth, then he's not gonna have a place to go tomorrow. Nice.
Yeah, because he can't. He won't be able to feed now. He's gonna be forced onto Plymouth. That's his only possible retribution.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Kudos, Strider.
Now, can he use the effect of Long Night to put Dr. Seward into 29? Oh no, Dr. Seward's gone already. I
Because
was
the
gonna
thing is,
say, he
like,
kicked Long Night into play.
Drac can't forcibly clear his own trail,
Nope. He can't
so
choose to take
he's
the Dracula
forced.
error.
He is forced to use feed and dark call, um,
But he can't do either of those when he's on
and
CG.
hide. He's forced to go to Plymouth and then stay there for like 3 turns.
Mm-hmm. And then he'll
Which
take
is
an
going to give
error.
the hunters all the time in the world to get to him with multiple hunters on the same day.
And why is that? Say it with me, boys and girls. Because he can't misdirect a C location anymore.
Oh, were you used to?
uh, well,
Did that used to be a thing you could do?
back in the day, there was nothing that said you couldn't.
Interesting.
Third edition.
Huh.
Yeah. So
All
it
right.
was a
Well, this is
nightmare.
a huge turn of events in Strider's favor.
As CG can often be, it can really turn the game around in an instant. In a flashy way. What a fun card. Well, not for Dracula. Okay. But can he make
So,
use to this? Because he just used the renewed vigor. But did it really pay off? It's impossible for us to know because we don't really know whether he had CG or for how long, or whether he just got it because he played renewed vigor and supplied. Who can say? But who needs it? He's got all the time in the world. You said it yourself. Dracula has to feed first, and he has to play Dark Call, and he has to hide.
the only question in my mind is, does how long do the hunters wait to gather hunters together? Because Godalming can get there 1 turn from now. Seward can get there 2 turns from now. Mina can get there 3 turns from now. Hold up. Do you have Godalming go 1-on-1? Do you have like?
Well, you
Oh,
put
yeah. Do
put
you
them
have
put them
Godalming and
both in
Seward go together?
London. Put them both in London, and see if you can get Mina there in time. And if she can, you can do the 3-on-1. If not, you can do the 2-on-1. And yeah, maybe he'll pop his fog, but it's not the end of the world because he'll use his fog, but he's still gonna take the Dracula error.
Oh yeah. Scott Sword says he could hide with double fog. He's really gonna need that. Would be which would give enough time,
Yeah, I
enough
mean
turns to feed in Dark House safely with no combat.
that's totally
Good
true.
point,
He
Scott
could
Sword.
squeak his way out of this.
Interesting.
It's actually possible. You can suffer the Dracula error and get away. But I don't think
So
there's any way out of the Dracula error at this point.
right,
He
at
could,
best, that's gonna leave him with, um, what? He's gonna take 5 damage to 7 damage. So he's gonna go up to 11, then down 7. He's gonna be at 4 health, going to France, where
well,
there will be
the trail will be clear at that point, so he could go to either C zone that's adjacent and go down to 3 health, and then he could wolf form.
True.
Or he could go again and again. He could go. I mean, he could really move.
Yep, that's also
with no
true.
Rufus Smith in play. That's where Rufus Smith shows his true potential. Is when Dracula's down to like 4 or 5 health and has no choice but to go to sea. That's
Yeah.
when he's really screwed.
So we have seen one forewarned play already. So I think there's still one forewarned left.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta try to forewarn the fog, but I think you still go for it, right? Because 2 guys can do 8 damage to Dracula. Like, I mean, it's not a sure thing, but you gotta
So does
try, right?
Godalming go directly to Plymouth or London first?
It's tricky. If you have excellent weather for Seward, then you go straight to Plymouth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is interesting. This is still in the balance. Don't have to worry about this because it'll go away when Dracula takes the error. Rufus Smith is in the discard pile, so a surprising return for Rufus Smith would be really huge right now.
Okay. Huh.
And he still might have
So,
it, remember? Because the combo was Money Trail for Consecrated Ground. So he didn't have to use Surprising Return if he had it. Which means he could still be holding the Surprising Return.
sorry, I was momentarily distracted by the...
Unfortunate.
I wonder what Dracula is.
If you'd gotten that earlier, you'd actually have saved yourself from the encounter on the hide card. Funny enough. Because you can't put an encounter down on the hide card if he plays it when he's revealed.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So let's say
So that explains why you did the hide card before feeding.
Right, exactly. Because as soon as exactly what happens with the hired scouts, no more encounter on your hide card. Can really come in clutch if Dracula lands at 13.
Oh, I see. Yep,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head what all the numbers are.
Oh,
It took
no,
me a
it's
little
okay.
second to notice that.
13's easy to
Alright.
remember because it's good old 13.
Yep.
Alright, now we're going to have to see most likely a feed.
Yep, there's not much reason to do
I
Dark
wouldn't,
Call
yeah,
first.
Yeah,
You're going to be feeding.
I would feed first.
Yep.
This is interesting.
Altaris says probably got me here in the chat.
Yeah, but you never know what could happen.
Which is kind of tilting his cards a little bit that he doesn't have fog there, but
Who knows?
maybe that's a bluff.
Maybe that's exactly what he wants him to think.
I played Altaris a few times, but have not played him enough to know
Actually,
whether he's the
though,
kind of player to bluff or not.
I mean, he's gone through his deck, right? There's 3 discarded encounter cards. Oh no, that was because of the desecrated soil. So Dracula, I mean, he hasn't gone through his deck, has he? So when you really think about it, what has his encounter economy been like this game? Oh, well, let's find out.
Do we have a fog?
Fog.
Oh, we do have a fog. All right.
But it looks like we've got some interactive play here, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, a fog and a new vamp.
Forewarned.
There's the second forewarned.
Strider activated his counter trap card. But Dracula's still got one final gamble. Anyway, what I was saying was he's been traveling so much. Oh, planned ambush for the new vampire. That's an interesting call. I might have saved it to use against Dracula. But what I was getting at was that there's been so
Altaris
much
agrees
sea
with you. You
movement.
should have saved that for Drac.
Yeah. There's been so much sea movement and the early mature, and all that together really put a damper on Dracula's encounter economy.
I
You
like
remember,
using it when you have a one-on-one like you have here.
yeah.
Uh, even though I get Drac is more important.
I mean, yeah, you don't want the vampire to get a plotting off on your dodge and then start beating you up, but, like, I don't know. Well, you're gonna take 4 damage as Godalming. You'll still be at 7.
Does that mean Godalming doesn't have a knife?
No.
Or maybe he was just
I
okay
don't
with
think
taking the 2
I
damage.
don't think he wanted to kill it. I think he just wanted to not. He used it like an escape route. He just wanted to not get too beat up by it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, if you'd saved your planned ambush, you could have had Godalming become delayed, and now you could have used the planned ambush in a 2-on-1 fight and killed it potentially. But I mean, you don't even want to really kill it. It's gonna go away when Dracula takes an error.
Scotchford says when checkmate penalty is taken, Plymouth will remain, which might matter if a counter hasn't been triggered.
Oh,
I
that's
don't.
right. It clears your entire trail except for your current location. That's totally true. So this vampire will
Oh,
actually not
interesting.
be cleared by the Dracula error, which
That's
some people insist on calling a checkmate penalty.
interesting. I mean, you know that intuitively when there's just like one card there. When you have 4 cards on the same space, thinking about the checkmate penalty only clearing like 2 or 3 things off the trail is kind of wild.
Yeah. Ooh, what? He's making a stand with Seward though. This is interesting. You think he'd either kill it or run from it, like with both the hunters. He's got holy bullets too, and now Dracula knows that.
Huh.
Which, to be fair, isn't like super fair. Like I kind of wish the game did, had a way around that. But
Altaris has noticed that. Got the bullets too, I see. Good to know.
yeah, he knows. He knows the strength Seward. Strider's a wily one. Maybe he'll hold back on his
Okay.
gun for that reason.
So it's ultimately the same outcome as the Godalming fight.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know about revealing the weapon only to run away. Like, make a stand or fight it.
But can Drac do
Or
anything
run.
about it?
Yeah, I
I guess
mean,
the only
he knows
thing
he has a
I
gun
could say
now.
that's going well for, well, let's say the one thing that's going well for Drac is that that Mina's not going to be in time to join the fight unless she has excellent weather. But maybe you don't even want her to. Maybe you just want her to camp out at Le
She
Havre.
can't. She can't get there with excellent weather.
Uh, oh, you're
43 is only connected to the English Channel.
right. No, you're right.
If Renewed Vigor was still kicking around, she could move by train to 29 and then excellent weather to 43, which would be a pretty
Right.
badass move, not gonna lie.
No, that's some bad math on my part. You're right. So she can just go chill in the Harv, or yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
what I would do, given
If
how low
Dracula,
Drac's health is going to
if
be.
he does manage to get away, it,
He's not going to have a lot of
I'm not
health
even
left,
sure.
so
Yeah, I'm not even sure what would be cleared. Would it clear the entire trail
Lucky finding Lucy.
except for Dark Hall, or I guess it would keep Plymouth on the trail because it's still his current location, even though it's not the foremost card. Okay, so we got
Altaris
to
says
find Lucy's
oof, and I
Revenge.
agree.
Lucy's Revenge, I guess it'll help. He's not
Well, I
gonna
mean,
escape
Drac's
as
health
a
is going to be at
bad.
a premium, right? Because he's got to do this twice. So that's that means all the fang's going to be going towards Seward.
Yeah, this is interesting. All you gotta do is like 4 damage, right? Or get him down to 4 health.
Interesting that Godalming has 3 combat cards and Seward has 2. I guess the other would be bullets and horses.
Hmm. If he's down to 2, then tonight he has to Dark Call and he dies. If he's down to 4, then it's Dark Call and then go to C and he dies. So if you get him down to 4 and then get away, you win, right?
So he's going to take 5 damage from the checkmate. So all Strider needs to do is deal 2 damage net.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's not going to feel good. Yeah, we don't need those anymore because we use Consecrated Ground. So they're just there for killing now. Okay, so if you escape now and he fangs you, but if he fangs you on the way out, he's at 8.
Oh, right.
And then he goes down to 6 for the checkmate penalty.
Maybe have Godalming escape, Seward dodge, and then you just don't fight him next turn, and he dies automatically.
If he was up to 8, he would go down to 6 for the Dark Hall, and then he would take 5 for the penalty and be down.
Now Godalming has Lucy, so he can't. So that can cancel the fangs, right? If it's against Godalming. So if Godalming escapes, Seward dodges.
If you escape right now,
then there's no feed. Then there's no healing.
Yeah. If you escape right now,
so that should lock it in. Strength.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Now, if you escape and he fangs you, he's up to 8. Then he has to play Dark Call. He's down to 6. Then he takes a penalty. He goes down to 1. And then he has to go to C and he's dead.
Okay.
So
looks like I
mean, you don't have to play as cowardly as all that when you've got
knives you don't need to do it the way
and holy bullets. You can just
you can kill him. You can kill him the old-fashioned way. Strider has some anger management issues he'd like to resolve here. None of this like foo-foo escape and let the checkmate penalty do it. Oh no. Strider's charging into battle. He wants to do it himself. You know, it's like it's the final boss. No, leave him for me.
Yeah, you don't need to let the error do all the work for you, and you can just kill him. Perhaps that's for the best.
He's already dead.
Because you know you can always forget something in your calculations too.
That's true. That's true. And if Strider has something to do today, this is a quicker way to win than waiting 2 more turns.
He's got a date to get to, yeah.
In the chat, William says Strider might be the 1972 Miami Dolphins of the League of Dracula.
He's on fire. I can't be stopped right now. There's nothing like killing a Dracula. Punch him, yeah.
Man, adding insult to injury. Salt in the wound. Correctly guessing the mesmerize.
Can't do anything.
Now, that's GG.
Yeah, Dracula won't be able to do anything now. They could just dodge, punch if they wanted. But
yep, I agree with that.
You might as well play knives and stuff like that if you have it.
It's just a matter of ending the game quicker.
Yeah, and the lesson is, don't ever go to sea if you're gonna have to land with wolf form still on the trail. I guess that's the lesson. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been there. You wolf form, and then they get on top of you, and then you have to go to sea. But yeah, if you have to land, that's almost always where they're gonna get you. Hypnosis, money trail, anything like that. Hired scouts even can have you cooked. If they have the consecrated ground, then that's that. Heck, sometimes they can even just, they don't even have to find out where you are. They can just figure out a couple places where you're not, and that can be enough to CG you to death. Oh, he's dead.
Boom. Dead Dracula.
Yeah. Good play. Good play from both
Good game.
sides.
This is exciting.
Yeah. Had their
Yep.
early
Very
vampire
competitive.
mature and got hunted down in Old England. Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. Hope you had fun.
Yep.
There might be
Thanks
more
for
going on later.
yeah, there's another game at 6. Maybe some in the chat have already seen the end of the Wormtailing game that was started before this one. That one was pretty good when I left it. Um, Sad to have not been able to see the ending. I may have to check out the ending on Wormtailing's Twitch.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look. Thanks for joining me, Snuff. This was fun. It's nice getting to know you.
Likewise, likewise.
Yeah, we'll have you on again
Any
sometime.
final parting words here?
Don't get consecrated grounded if you're Dracula.
Interestingly, since one heavenly host was used, it would actually have been a lot better to go into the UK and wolf form to Manchester. Because at worst, you were going to be stuck in Manchester for one turn.
Yeah, but he didn't have wolf form. He would have had to
Oh,
move one more sea zone. He could have.
interesting.
He could have gone like North Sea, and then wolf form would have fallen off the trail, I think.
Good point.
Uh,
Forgot about that.
So yeah, you take an extra damage, but you could have done something cheeky like that. You got to be careful too, though. Like if they money trail you, then right? Let's say you're in the North Sea and they money trail you, then they can actually just consecrate like Amsterdam, Hamburg, and Edinburgh, right? And if the two adjacent sea zones are already on the trail, which they would have been in this case, you're actually still caught in an error. Right?
Yeah,
You
in that
follow me
case,
there? Yeah, it's kind of like if you're at the Adriatic Sea and they cover all the three of those ports, then you're errored if Ionian is also on the trail.
yeah. I mean, certainly he wouldn't have gone English Channel to North Sea in that situation. He'd just go North Atlantic, North Sea. But yeah.
Well, you might have throw them off the trail, but I mean, well, to get your wolf form back, really, would be the only
Oh,
reason.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good game. Thanks for joining, everybody. It was fun. Yeah, I'll sign off for now. But again, thanks for joining me, Snuff.